In the heart of Onitsha, where the sun hits hard and hustle fills every breath, a boy named Kevin walked the streets like a shadow. His slippers were worn out, his school uniform faded. He held his books like they were the only valuable thing he owned. But what pained him more wasn't the hunger in his belly. It was the laughter behind him. Chiboy drove past in a loud, shiny car. Girls screamed his name. Boys hailed him like a king. Kevin didn't look back. He didn't need to. He already knew the sound of the engine, the perfume from the car, the mockery in Chiboy's smile. Your mate day dry bends. You still day into Okada, Chiboy shouted, slowing the car beside him. Kevin ignored him. Chiboy laughed, leaned out of the window, and added, "No worry, I go take care of Lily for you." That one hit deep. Lily, Kevin's only joy. The girl who used to wait for him after school, bring him roasted corn, whisper dreams into his ears. She used to say, "You'll make it. Kevin, I believe in you." But belief wasn't enough in Onitsha. She stopped coming. She stopped calling. Then Kevin saw her last week, wearing a red dress Chiboy had bought. Her smile no longer belonged to him. Kevin's chest burned. He walked faster. He didn't want anyone to see the tears forming in his eyes. At school, he sat alone. His friends, Ben, Sam, and Mike, used to hang around him. But recently, they drifted. He couldn't blame them. Nobody wants to be close to poverty too long. It might rub off. After classes, Kevin took the long way home. He didn't want to pass the road where Chiboy and his gang usually chilled, flashing money, smoking loud, surrounded by girls. He turned into a narrow path beside the market. That was when he saw him. An old man, bent and ragged, sitting beside a gutter. He had a mat with nothing on it, just a rusted tin bowl and a tattered bag. His eyes were sharp, too sharp for a beggar. "Kevin," the man called. Kevin paused. "Do I know you?" "No," the old man said, "but I know you." Kevin frowned. "Are you mad?" The man chuckled. "The world calls wisdom madness when it comes from a beggar. But listen before you walk away." Kevin looked around. No one else was there. The man's voice was calm, steady. "I see hunger in your eyes and anger in your footsteps. You want to rise. You want revenge. But you don't want to wait." Kevin's mouth opened slightly. "There's a man in Upper Iwika," the beggar continued. "He does not sell hope. He sells shortcuts. You'll go with nothing and come back with millions. But what you spend may not be cash alone." Kevin took a step back. "I don't believe in all that. Juju? Ritual? No." The old man didn't blink. "Then go home. Cry into your pillow. Watch Chiboy take everything while you hold on to belief." Kevin clenched his fists. The man smiled. "I've said too much already. But if you ever get tired of being the joke, find the red gate beside the broken post office at Upper Iwika. Knock 3 times. Don't ask for the man's name. Just say you're ready." That night, Kevin didn't sleep. He stared at the zinc roof of their one-room apartment. His mother snored softly beside him. The air was hot. Mosquitoes danced in his ears. He couldn't stop thinking. Lily's laughter haunted him. Chiboy's voice echoed in his mind. By morning, he had made a decision. He told his mother he was going to study at Mike's house. She nodded, too tired to ask questions. Kevin made his way to Upper Iwika. The streets were louder here, dirtier, heavier with secrets. He passed hawkers, area boys, and preachers screaming about repentance. Then he saw it. The red gate, faded, scratched, hanging loosely on one hinge. And beside it, the broken post office, crumbling like forgotten dreams. He looked left, then right, then raised his hand. 1, 2, 3 knocks. Silence. Then the gate creaked open by itself. Kevin stepped in. The compound was overgrown. A rusted shrine stood at the center, half covered in moss. A statue without a head sat at its base. On the wall, red symbols were painted, none he could understand. A man appeared from the shadows. Tall, thin, wearing red with blacks on it. Why are you here? Kevin swallowed hard. Yes. Barber, I need money. I want to be rich quick. Big. Barber, Kevin said. The man tilted his head. Do you want it more than your sleep? More than your peace? More than your future? Kevin nodded. The man smiled slowly. Then we begin tonight. Kevin tried to ask questions, but the barber raised his hand and say, no names, no past, only sacrifice. The next hours were a blur. He was given something to drink. Bitter, hot. He vomited twice. He was asked to chant things he didn't understand. He watched as a goat was slaughtered. The blood touched his tongue. A bell rang. You will wake up with the money, the barber said. But hear this, you must finish it in 7 days. You will not help anyone. You will not save. You will not invest. You must spend it, waste it, scatter it. If even one kobo remains on the 8th day, you will die. Kevin's heart pounded. Fail, the barber said, and your soul becomes ours, forever. Kevin wanted to scream, but the words didn't come. The barber touched his forehead. Sleep now, and wake up as rich boy. Kevin's eyes rolled back. Darkness swallowed him. When he opened his eyes, he was in a hotel room, alone. On the table beside him, bags, bundles, stacks, 100 million Nigerian nairas, neatly arranged, shimmering. Kevin laughed, then cried, then laughed again. Outside, the world continued. Chiboy still lived like a king. But Kevin was now something else. And the countdown had already begun. Kevin stared at the money like a man who had seen a ghost wrapped in gold. The stacks on the hotel bed were real. $100 million, counted, sealed, and staring back at him like judgment. He reached out, touched the crisp notes, then pulled back quickly. They felt warm, too warm. The air conditioner was on, yet sweat trickled down his back. It wasn't just heat. It was the weight of a deal he couldn't undo. He stood up, looked around the hotel room, then laughed bitterly. So, this is what they die for, he muttered. A knock came at the door. Kevin jumped. He moved cautiously, peeked through the hole. It was a bellboy, holding a phone. Sir, a lady left this at the reception for you. Kevin took it, confused. Strange, just a small mirror wrapped with red clothes. A countdown timer. 6 days, 23 hours, 41 minutes. It was ticking. He dropped the phone on the bed and staggered backward. It was real. Everything was real. The money, the warning, the countdown. He had 7 days. Only 7 days to finish this entire fortune, or die. Kevin didn't sleep that night. He sat in the corner, staring at the timer, listening to his own heartbeat. By morning, he made his first move. He stepped out in a new designer outfit, one that cost more than his family had ever made in a year. He called a cab, but not just any cab, a luxury Benz rental with a personal driver. He drove straight to a boutique and shut it down for 2 hours. I'll buy everything, he told a confused shop owner. Just bag it. From there, he hit the electronics store, bought 3 iPhones, 2 MacBooks, 5 gaming consoles, smart TVs he didn't need, speakers he'd never use. At every stop, he swiped, paid, and walked away without looking back. His hotel room turned into a warehouse. By sunset, he'd already spent $12 million. His friends, Ben, Sam, and Mike, heard about it before he even called. "Guy! Kevin don't blow." Sam shouted on the phone, "Where you dey? Make we pull up." Kevin hesitated, then replied, "Hotel Sapphire, room 709, but come empty-handed." Within an hour, they arrived. The 3 of them stood in the doorway, jaws wide open, clothes scattered everywhere, sneakers on the couch, champagne bottles half poured on the floor, and Kevin lying on a king-size bed with 2 girls massaging his legs. "Kev, is this real?" Ben asked quietly. Kevin smiled but didn't answer. Instead, he tossed bundles of cash at them. "Spend it," he said. "Tonight, we own the night." That evening, they stormed the club in Lekki Phase 1. Kevin bought out every table. He tipped every waiter with stacks. Girls flocked. Bottles popped endlessly. Even Chiboy showed up, dressed in gold and pride. When Chiboy saw Kevin, he froze. Kevin leaned back on the velvet couch and said just loud enough, "Some of us don't need to steal girlfriends. We just upgrade." The crowd roared. Chiboy forced a laugh and walked away. Kevin felt power for the first time. Raw power. But beneath it, fear crawled. Every laugh felt like a countdown. Every toast reminded him this wasn't joy. It was escape. By day 3, Kevin had spent over $38 million. He bought a used Range Rover, rented a luxury apartment, and paid for 2 celebrity artists to perform at his private pool party. The media started noticing. Instagram pages posted him with a caption, "New billionaire in town." But Kevin wasn't smiling anymore. At night, he'd hear whispers, "You're running out of time." He'd wake up soaked in sweat, even with the AC on full blast. The mirror never stopped. 4 days, 2 hours, 17 minutes. Always ticking. He tried to call home once. His mother picked up. "Kevin, is that you?" she asked. He froze. His lips trembled. He wanted to say something. Anything. But the priest's voice echoed in his head. "Help no one. Not even your mother." He ended the call and screamed into his pillow. By day 4, Kevin was losing control. He no longer enjoyed the spending. He just did it, like a slave to the clock. He booked 5 flights he didn't take, paid for entire weddings he didn't attend, walked into restaurants and bought everyone's meal, then left before the food came. Ben and Sam started asking questions. "Bro, why you dey rush the spending?" Mike asked. "You fit invest now. Make the money grow." Kevin snapped. "I said spend, not save." The room went quiet. Kevin apologized, but his voice cracked. Later that night, he went to a strip club and dropped $5 million in 1 hour. The girls danced. The lights spun, but Kevin sat like a ghost among the living. One of the dancers, her name was Ella, sat beside him. "You look sad for someone who's so rich." Kevin looked at her. His eyes were red. "I'm not rich," he whispered. "I'm racing death." Ella laughed, thinking it was a joke. Kevin didn't laugh with her. When she left, Kevin stared at the timer. 3 days, 11 hours, 59 minutes. Still too much left. Still too much to spend. Back in his apartment, he broke down. He trashed the new laptops, smashed the television, tore his designer clothes. "This money is a curse," he cried. He sat on the floor, panting. Then a thought came. Maybe I can burn it. He gathered some stacks, took them to the bathroom, lit a match. The fire sparked, touched the cash, but it didn't burn. It melted like plastic, releasing a foul smoke. He choked and dropped it. His hands were burned, but the notes looked untouched. His phone buzzed. A message on the timer mirror. You can't destroy what isn't yours. Kevin threw the phone across the room. It shattered. He sat there all night, alone, bleeding, crying. He remembered the old beggar. He remembered the warning. And suddenly, the money didn't feel warm anymore. It felt cold, very cold. Kevin didn't leave the apartment for the next 12 hours. He sat on the floor surrounded by cash, electronics, broken glass, and silence. His eyes were swollen. His fingers blistered from trying to burn money that refused to burn. The countdown on the cracked phone screen glowed red. 3 days, 0 hours, 11 minutes. The weight of time pressed against his chest. He tried to eat, but the food tasted like ash. Tried to sleep, but his dreams were haunted by shadows dancing in the flames. They called his name over and over again. Kevin, Kevin, you're wasting time. The next morning, he jolted awake to the sound of his friends banging on the door. Omo open this door, Anne. We dey worry. He staggered to his feet and unlocked it. Ben, Sam, and Mike Russian, eyes wide. Guy, you okay? Sam asked, staring at the mess. Kevin forced a laugh. Just tired. Mike shook his head. You dey spend like say you WANN to Guinness Book of Records. But you darn quiet. Wetting happened. Kevin didn't answer. He walked past them, grabbed a bag of cash, and said, Let's go. We're going to Abuja. They looked confused but didn't argue. Money made you obey without questions. An hour later, they were on a private jet. Kevin paid double to skip airport protocols. He didn't care. He just wanted time to move faster. In Abuja, he rented a mansion for one night. $10 million. Threw a party that made blogs explode. Artists, influencers, models, everyone showed up. He stood on the balcony, watching them dance. Fake smiles, empty laughter, choking music. Anna walked up beside him. You're not enjoying your own party. Kevin sipped his drink. Are any of them enjoying it? Anna tilted her head. Why spend so much if you're not happy? Kevin stared at her. Because I have to. She smiled politely and walked away. Behind him, someone whispered, You're still too slow. He turned sharply, but no one was there. By the next morning, Kevin had spent another $17 million. He flew back to Lagos with new jewelry on his neck and more fear in his heart. 2 days, 3 hours, 50 minutes remained. He was running out of ideas. He had bought everything he could. Clothes, gadgets, properties, trips. Nothing worked fast enough. It was like the money refused to finish. He paid to host an entire concert in Surulere, rented out stadium space, paid dancers, sponsored giveaways. But that night, as fireworks lit up the sky, Kevin stood behind the stage staring at the phone screen. Still $14.2 million left. Still ticking. In a moment of desperation, he visited a luxury car dealer, bought 3 foreign cars, paid in full. As they were signing documents, the dealer smiled and said, Young man, you're the type of customer we pray for. Kevin gave a sad grin. Pray harder. I might not come back. Then he left. That evening, he sat alone in a jacuzzi, surrounded by girls. Yes, but alone in his spirit. Nina sat on the edge, dipping her feet in the water. You don't talk much, do you? she asked. Kevin didn't answer. Do you want to? She continued. I want to disappear, he whispered. She frowned, but before she could respond, his phone buzzed again. 1 day, 11 hours, 9 minutes. He stood up abruptly. I need to go. Where? Kevin didn't answer. He drove to a quiet beach just before midnight, sat on the sand, watching the wave crash like time breaking apart. He took out a bundle of cash and threw it into the ocean, but as he did, a sharp pain shot through his chest. He fell to his knees, gasping. A voice whispered in his head, Don't waste what you were told to spend. Every naira must be used. The pain stopped only when he dragged the remaining notes back to the car. He was now terrified. The next day, he rented a mall floor, told vendors to take the day off, and began destroying shelves, paying for every item he smashed. Bottles, TVs, phones, clothes, shoes. He hired people to paint murals of himself all over Lagos. $5 million gone. But it still wasn't enough. He returned to his hotel room, locked the door, and cried like a baby. Snot, tears, shaking hands. He called no one, answered no one. The timer now showed 17 hours, 27 minutes. He walked to the mirror. His face looked older, pale, his eyes empty. He whispered, God, forgive me. But he didn't hear anything in return. He tried to leave the room, but the door wouldn't open. He pushed, pulled, nothing. He reached for his phone. The countdown was now flashing. 13 hours, 59 minutes. Then came the hallucinations. The lights flickered. The mirror rippled. The walls began to bleed black liquid. He screamed and crawled under the bed. From there, he saw the bags of money glowing, like they were alive, breathing. Help me, he screamed. But nobody came. Not Ben, not Sam, not even Lily. At 11:30 p.m., there was a knock. Weak, slow. He dragged himself to the door and opened it. It was Maya, one of the girls from the party. Her eyes widened when she saw his state. Kevin, what happened to you? He couldn't speak. He grabbed her hand and pulled her in. Sit, he begged. Please, just sit with me. She looked concerned but obeyed. I'll give you everything, he muttered, placing 10 millionaire in her lap. Just talk to me till midnight. Don't leave. Don't ask questions. Maya blinked. Okay. They sat in silence. The room was cold, and Maya felt goosebumps rise on her arms. Kevin just stayed at the timer. 11:57 p.m. He whispered, Do you believe people can die from spending money? Maya didn't answer. 11:59 p.m. Kevin began to cry. Not like before. This time it was soft, like a man who had finally accepted his fate. He leaned against the wall, breathing slowly. Then midnight came. The timer disappeared. The phone fell from his hand. His chest stopped moving. Maya stood up, confused. Kevin. No response. She touched him. Cold. Very cold. She screamed. The money on the bed began to burn, flames rising without smoke. The room grew silent, like time itself had ended. Kevin was gone. The news of Kevin's death spread like wildfire. By sunrise, the hotel was swarming with people. Police, journalists, bystanders. Some whispered that he died from overdose. Others claimed it was heart failure. But those who saw the room, those who saw the strange fire that consumed the cash without a trace, knew something darker had happened. The hotel manager, trembling, told reporters, I saw the money with my own eyes. It was real. Then suddenly, it went up in flames. No smoke. No ashes. Just gone. Ben, Sam, and Mike stood outside the gates, silent. None of them said a word. Their friend was dead, the one who had risen higher than they ever imagined, the one who spent money like it grew on his skin. Now he was gone, and no one could explain why. Back in Onitsha, Kevin's mother got the call. She collapsed. The neighbors carried her into the house. My son, she wailed. I told him not to chase after those Lagos dreams. I told him. The old beggar from the market watched from a distance. He shook his head and murmured, another soul eaten by speed. Kevin's funeral was rushed. No one knew where his body came from or who paid for the arrangements. The casket arrived with no nameplate, no family crest, no flowers, just wood and silence. During the service, Chiboy showed up wearing a white senator outfit, sunglasses, and pride. He stood near the back, arms folded. His boys whispered among themselves, "Any money kill 'em." Chiboy scoffed, "Money no day kill person." N.A. agreed. But his hands trembled. That night, Chiboy had a dream. He stood in an empty hole filled with mirrors. In each one, he saw Kevin, alive, dressed in black, staring. Then Kevin spoke. You laughed when I was poor. You envied when I was rich. But tell me, Chiboy, are you ready for your own test? Chiboy screamed and woke up sweating. He tried to shake it off. But all day, he kept seeing flashes. Kevin's face on his phone screen. Kevin's voice in his ears. Kevin's body in the casket. By the third night, he couldn't sleep. So he drove. Alone. He cruised through town in his new G-Wagon, windows down, trying to breathe, trying to feel real. At a red light, someone knocked on his window. He turned. It was the same beggar who had spoken to Kevin. Chiboy, the man said, eyes glowing in the dark. You want more, don't you? Chiboy froze. Who are you? The man didn't answer, just handed him a card. Red paper. No name, just an address. Upper Iweka, beside the broken post office. The red gate. Chiboy stared at it for a long moment, then laughed. Kevin was weak. He muttered, I'm not. The part 3 of this story will shock you. What do you think will happen in part 3? Do you think Chiboy will go for the ritual or not? Comment what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that YouTube will remind you anytime I drop part 3 of this story. Comment part 3 if you're interested in Kevin's story.